This mic seems good.
I'm _ Biggy is now live. Streaming Tactics Ogre, Reborn, wheelchair symbol disabled gamer wheelchair symbol, Tactics Ogre 100% run.
Thank you, Stream Elements. What else is needed here? To refresh this screen to see if it was working on YouTube. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay. Things are working on YouTube, which means time to switch on my screen. Hello folks, it is me, I'm Biggy and I'm back and we are live. And I should have adjusted this slightly. Playing Tactics Ogre.
Stream element spot running robot face.
Thank you, Stream element spot running robot face. Thanks people for being here nice and early. But yeah, if you look at today's little agenda over here, this now we need to reach floor 100 of Palace of the Dead, and just so that we complete the whole thing to do 100% battles, we need to actually clear the Palace of the Dead, meaning we'll do all 100 floors that are available. And yeah, it's just the most, I think this is the grindiest part of the entire quest, to 100% all the battles. But yeah, I know this is not the thrillingest outcome or thrillingest series of episodes, but let's just get things started. The less time we dilly-dally, the better. And we'll just play as much of the Palace of the Dead as we can. And let's actually just zoom out here. So it's the Palace of the Dead is split into 4 parts of 25 floors each. So we are, well, this is Saturday now. We have a total of 5 days to clear as much as possible. So unless we clear, like, this is going to take us about 2 weeks if we don't, if we clear things like, depending on how many floors we clear per episode. But the less we think about it, the better. Let's just get through this as quickly as we can. Right, and the last person here would probably be Huelas. And of course, we're gonna just forego a lot of the remove all these stones. We're gonna forego a lot of whatchamacallit. Well, actually, instead of the Grimoire Exorcisme, let's have you use the Fairy Scale Powder. We might also where's the powder? There you are. The Fairy Scale Powder will help out in clearing the Palace of the Dead here. Okay, we'll go with Double Mending Salve. And there's not much else. I'm gonna give him 1 dragon stake and blessing stone. We might do a ton of auto battling, just so. And I'm not sure about whether if I should show battles that we're going to repeat. And this is where, yeah, AI is going to be relatively useful. Well, as useful as they can be. Yeah. Nice skill trigger. And we'll probably just spend as much time as we can going over what various characters could actually do. No, what areas have what items. But like I said, most of the things here we're not too worried about. Because we're just trying to get through things as fast as we can. Goodbye. Free exorcisms are always good. Right. Slowly recovering my stamina. So you might see me slightly out of breath, but hopefully things will go okay for this particular stream. Cancel all. We'll move you over here. Loyalty card's not that important, but we'll just finish the battle using, well, we're just gonna use the stake first, because we haven't yet. And let's just go ahead and use Pressure Whirl to level up your staff a little bit.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy, Mana. Thanks for being here. I'm just slowly recovering my breath. But there's a ton of stuff we need to do today. Considering we have 100 floors worth of the Palace of the Dead to do. Very good. And don't accidentally withdraw, please. But okay. 4 down. Several more to go. And you don't have a need for a Grimoire exorcism. We will just give you a mending salve, I guess. And just data save right here. And while I do a bit of editing on this, I'm gonna put a small ad break on the tubes. So insert ad. I need to be more diligent with that, actually. And properties. Go and out of 100. Okay. Right. And as we switch back to our screen, let's go through the 5th floor. And we need to actually make sure that Sita are in most of these story battles. It is unfortunate, though, that okay, let me just look at turns of victory. Archer, no. It is unfortunate that Waylas and Jevold don't get to have their bits of dialogue here. But unless I am going to do the old recruit everybody. Oof. Why am I so tired? Ano ma? Kakafe na. Oh boy. Don't worry, I'm doing all right, but the tiredness is just
I was but I had as futile as for. My apologies, but a necessary. Perhaps I will have to enlist help from another corps. Oh, what do we have here?
hello, necromancers.
Selena.
Ah,
So you. I will take denizens.
denizens of the abyss.
You feeling up for continuing our discussion on stuff to add to Unlimited Saga if they remake it?
Sure. Let's continue with that chat as well. That seems a fruitful use of our time, actually. While I whip Zabos for a bit. Let's actually use this chance to quickly assign AI. No, I need to keep people alive. Yeah, we could talk a limited saga for a little bit as well. Empty charge. So we talked about things that we're gonna keep.
The magic system needs an overhaul in both how you get magic but also the magic spells themselves, as many of the spells aren't very useful.
That's true. The key thing right now is
Hello,
I do love.
Biggy, Twitch Manta.
Hello, Smithing Myth. As soon as we start talking about Unlimited Saga, of course, Myth just shows up. Boom. Right on cue. So the discussions will be kind of lively today, I would assume. But yeah.
Yeah, like that water spell you blend that changed the roulette to water and forbidden panels is worthless.
Commander Runzenbach, you are defiled by my father's sorcery. Forgive
Asterisk
us,
changes.
Commander. I will not allow this sacrilege to continue.
Sacrilege? My dear child, necromancy is a noble art. It is nothing less than the path to salvation of the body and soul. The power to overcome death.
Wow.
Was it salvation you offered my mother and sister and Goliath?
Oh yeah, this is
No.
the best timeline.
You knew it would not be complete. From the very beginning, you knew they would be left in that horrible place betwixt life and death.
Spells called Ice 9, worthless.
I disagree. In this matter, my heart sees truly as it has never seen before. I love Cassandra and Moldova. How could I not try to free them from death's bonds? No, I must strive to resurrect them, and toward this end I use my art without hesitation.
So you cling to such dreams, ever lacking the courage to face the truth of your failure. You talk of freeing your family, but if anyone is captive to death, it is you. Let me free you from this life, Father, that you may trouble the dead no more.
Okay. They're getting lots of lines here. I am enjoying that. But anyways, MP charge. Yeah, so many worthless spells in Unlimited Saga. I do agree. Like, it would be kind of neat if, say, the spells do anything, something. Goodbye, Zabos.
What in the hells? This body? What demon sorcery is this?
Zabos.
Master Nibeth, what has happened to me? Why am I...
Some of my subjects are sturdier than others.
Ooh. Yes, that's a little bit telling of Nibeth, I think. But
I also don't find the detect spells to be all that useful. I rarely use it on the exploration section.
yeah. So there's a whole bunch of things you could talk about in terms of the magic. The firewall spells, like there's so many things that are useful in battle, out of battle. The the firewall spells or kind of I think spells that block passage of enemies is an interesting thing to be able to cast, for example. But if it is able to consistently trap things like rainbow guckies, then it'll be so much more useful. And detection spells could work.
Good for blending fodder though.
Yeah, but Magic Blender is also another kind of yeah, but this is another thing that needs kind of an overhaul. Oh, I don't have Olivia. That's gonna be bad. Not Olivia, Oelas. I needed another character who could resurrect people.
We could talk about almost every spell for a while, like Fire Shield being a spell that buffs a character to have a chance to block water spells. So many spells that need reworks.
It is
I keep forgetting about the magic wall mechanic.
Yeah, the magic wall mechanic works as well, and there's just a bunch of things that
remembers not one whit of his former life. How could he, when his soul is gone?
The RNG of getting Magic Blender panel is ridiculous.
that is true.
Always seem so bent on violence?
I mean, that's the kind of the
And they despise the living for not suffering as they do. To the undead mind, such as it is, the only way to ease their pain is to inflict the same upon you.
So Sir Leonar is gone. Repent swiftly, Necromancer, for you join him soon.
okay, Indra's bow.
I also think Firewall should block both fire and ice and not just fire. Doesn't make sense.
What has befallen me?
Yeah, the magic system requires a
I
kind
mean
of
ice.
overhaul,
It
like
only
overhaul.
blocks ice
Yeah.
and not fire.
Wait, I remember. Death. Arisel.
I wonder if Arisel will have something to say if we brought her down to this level as well.
It would be neat if instead of a Magic Blender panel you have to get, instead make it so a few towns in the game that have shops that sell magic items would also allow you to blend magic in them.
That's a pretty cool choice as well. But then that would remove... the only thing that I dislike about that is that I do love Magic Blender as a tile or a panel. But makes it a lot more special. I still do like Magic Blender panels as well as magic tablets. I do love those things, but studying magic to learn magic seems a little bit like using magic to learn magic seems a little bit weird. But overhauling the magic system, I do want to overhaul it in such a way that I want to keep Magic Blender as a panel and Magic tablets as a as another panel. But it needs to be a little bit less RNG. Yeah.
Town Magic Blender costs money and / or resources, while the panel, with how rare it is, makes it free.
Maybe the in-town Magic Blender costs money, resources, while the panel, how rare it is, makes it free. Yeah, we do have things like Artiste, for example. That's a good panel that increases the amount of items in the shops. So that could be an example of an item that works pretty well. Like maybe Magic Blender panel makes, yeah, like as you said, makes things free. Hey. Right. What could Casita do? Let's use this and kill Naiveth. You just charge MP, I guess, on yourself. Yep. We could make Magic Blender something like not an item. Let's actually go and pop Naibeth in the face here just to end this battle. And I could further discuss
I also don't like that pellet has a chance of missing, when it seems like it would be hard to miss a rainfall of boulders.
That's true. But I like talking in terms of like the grander scheme of things. We could talk about little bits and pieces if we so wish, but I mean, overall, I think we need just let's just say that Magic needs an overhaul.
An unfortunate turn, though I am not unprepared. Munza, Lord of the Abyss, grant me the destructive fist and merciful heart bound within this ring. Break your seal.
Ah,
Yes. A much more fitting form for one so intimate with death. Pure undeath is achievable, you see, provided you use the right tools. And you're not too attached to your own humanity. Something to discuss further next we meet.
should I say something?
Naibeth!
Guess not. Yeah. But that's the idea about spells. We could actually just nitpick every single spell, make changes accordingly. But overall, I think Magic requires a fair bit of an overhaul. Is you need a cleric in the party. Wait, do we have anything sweet? No, nothing. Let's actually retreat for a bit because I forgot to save. Data, save. Right.
Perhaps to help streamline magic tablet system, they could make it so the more magic a character in your party knows, the easier it becomes to find higher level tablets.
I think tablets should be, yeah, I think anything that has to do with RNG, you know what I think tablets should be something not only found in, I think tablets, if tablets are purchasable, that would be interesting as well, because right now what's actually how things work. I think the one thing that is a huge quality of life bummer right now is not being able to sort your items while you're not in town. While you're not in an adventure. That's one, like, really just pet peeve of mine. So if we ever have a rework on the quality of life stuff, then I think let's just keep Magic Blend. I would keep Magic Blender as a rare skill to be able to trigger for now, because that means that you need to use things like Fortune Teller and other skills a lot to be able to trigger panels. There might be
that would be neat to be able to purchase magic tablets. But that would also have to open the idea of managing panels in town, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that would be...
It makes me wonder if tablets are purchasable, would you equip them normally on the panel, or have it as a side equipment slot that doesn't invade the panel?
That is true. I think being able to manage panels in town seems you know what I propose is a way to make things, well, slightly easier and less RNG-y. Being able to manage panels in town and have some universal panels. What that means is that you know how in the end of quests you have panels, right? You go, there are 3 panels that are there's 4 panels, and then there are 3 that are like stock, or that's where you get like magic tablets that you get in adventures, right? As kind of stock panels. What if we get, for example, those 3 slots, expand those slots a little bit, maybe go up to 7 or go up to a higher number, and any panels you don't use for a certain character could be placed up into like a reserve slot, and that's where all the magic tablets go, all those other panels go, and panels that you like want to reserve go, and then when you're in town, you could manage panels by placing panels from the reserved list of panels onto your character, but you cannot place any panels you cannot place a panel from a character that's already on that character onto the reserved list. So that way is like, that's a warning that pops up and says, are you sure you want to actually place this cannot be undone onto a character. And that way you could, for example, make magic blender on characters you don't want be placed on a character that you do want magic blender. That will make the game a lot easier to get the panels you need, but it'll also involve, it still involves RNG.
And have a button to save finalized changes for this idea.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be, I'd say it'll be more forgiving, definitely. But the important thing is being able to have more choices, more customization, and the game won't be as, obtuse for obtuse sake. You can't just say like, oh, okay, it's just yet another oh, I'm not getting getting magic blender on the character that I need. Oh, it's on another character I don't need. All that stuff. It'll be, the thing is, it'll be a little bit less RNG-y, but what that also means is that
reserve slot is a good idea to preserve the good panels.
Yeah, and it'll also be good for characters you don't use very much, or when you get some rare panels on characters you're not planning to use, or if you're planning to make a character good almost immediately. That's an idea. That's actually like a really cool idea. But need a cleric in the party. I'll need to actually, this is okay, retreat first and then just save, because I could just not save. It's a bad idea. I wanted to make sure that every single character that we have here have winged rings. Cressida does not. I think Oelas and Cressida needs to be in battle. So let me just remove this ring of intellect. Remove this winged ring.
On the subject of panels, isn't it kind of a problem that every character except Ventus has a finite number of ways to acquire panels? Imagine if you get bad luck in getting your panels, and if they don't implement a soft reset system? Maybe they could include a panel reroll system.
Panel rerolls. The game, just kind of FYI, the game does have sort of a panel reroll system or a panel farming system, but that involves you being mainly in the final, the Tetraforce. So you could save at the Tetraforce and then just repeatedly move around. And then farm, lose some LP, come back. All that good stuff. Technically, you're not in any kind of dire strait to there's for every character, because of the existence of the Tetraforce, there's no kind of point of no return in most of these adventures. So I don't mind the fact that there's limited number of adventures you can go on. There's also things like the secret adventure, which isn't available for all the characters. Maybe just maybe make the secret adventure available to all characters. That's it. That's one way to go about it. But I mean, I think that's really low priority in the terms of, everybody has a finite number of quests that you could go on, but that's not really true if you know the game system. Right. Because during my playthroughs, there wasn't any point that I feel like, oh, I could use more adventures to farm for more panels, or I could grind. Because the game is grindy enough as it is. But that's like I do like the idea of tweaking it so that a reserved list for your panels would actually work, just to make the game less RNG based. Yeah, I don't think the finiteness of panels is like a problem at all. You have plenty of time to actually farm for those panels. Okay, let me just think through a little bit in terms of what other Unlimited Saga stuff we talked about. We talked about art and music that we're going to keep the same. We're talking about panel system, which we're going to keep like the same, except for the idea of a reserved. The panel growth system is like the hallmark of what makes this game like so replayable. So I think we will keep the panel system the same, but with a caveat of setting up a reserved list. No, that's Magic the Gathering. A reserved panels list where you could actually do some edits in town. And on that note, we should also what is another thing that we need to do? Yeah, a bunch of quality of life changes. The quality of life changes, I think, is the most important thing. Being able to reorganize items while you're in town, being able to look at your panels and look at your party while you're in town.
Guide or more up-to-date online guide to help people figure out what they need to do to get certain panels so that people can be more optimal. Like, imagine someone playing Armix Quest but not knowing how to get artiste panels.
Yeah. Or maybe like actually, you know what could be helpful? Like being able to access a menu, a glossary of panels that you've unlocked before. That's one that's just going to be easy enough to tell which panels does what. And what what each panel will do once in a combo. You know, but adding a small tutorial is already pretty good. But that's just the general quality of life improvement that any game could have. And if we look at Tactics Ogre over here as an example of what we need to do, we already just I think Tactics Ogre hit the nail on the head on the quality of life stuff. Not having to worry about like auto crafting is amazing. Auto crafting would probably work for Unlimited Saga as well. Like an overhaul on the crafting system and probability stuff, which brings me to another point. It's like if we're talking probability, like for example, the probability of crafting being successful or not. This is low on the priorities list, but I would add a hardcore mode, or a way to make the game not harder, but to make the game actually matter in terms of the having things with probability, you know, because right now it's just like, okay, if the probability of making Damascus is 15% to make steel level 2, then what's the point if you could just soft reset over and over? It's actually increasing the gameplay time without actually increasing the difficulty at all. So if we're gonna keep that aspect of random chance of failure of magic spells, then we need to actually implement some sort of hardcore mode. If not, then just make crafting be successful in like at a certain percentage, or just make it 100%, or maybe make it so that you require more stuff to be able to craft. That's just a minor tweak, another minor tweak that I would suggest. But definitely the more important thing is quality of life stuff. There is kind of a guide, but it only exists in...
If we are going to make crafting be chance-based, then perhaps have stuff like blacksmith panels be able to improve odds of success.
Yeah, the blacksmith panels. Yeah, there's certain smithing panels that's for like myth, right? That's I would actually like Quick Fix is one of the few panels that are available. Let me think this through. If we're going to make crafting chance-based, yeah.
Yeah, I think myth is the only one with blacksmith panels. Yeah, Quick Fix is universal.
Yeah, unless we make blacksmithy skills somewhat universal, I don't think there's the need for that. Unless we're gonna just say, like, for example, make quick fix, like improved odds of smithing. But like I said, anything that artificially increases gameplay time, like percentage based stuff, makes no sense in an environment where you could actually save and reload. And if we're going to stick with it's a bit of an antiquated thing, that whole save and reload stuff, in terms of what's available. If we're going to go percentage based in terms of crafting system, makes no sense, unless like, and we could either make it like an artificial thing, to like a self-imposed challenge to not reload, but that's a bit of a, or actually, let's think how Tactics Ogre handled this. Tactics Ogre in and of itself already has a quote-unquote save state system, if you know what I mean, with its chariot, among all the other things that are available in the game. So if we use this as a case study, then what it needs is something that encourages you to not save state and reload. So a simple, I would either say a hardcore mode with an achievement, and you're done. Giving options is the key to like letting people tailor their experiences. Yeah, but we could either go with hardcore mode, which is saves the game. Hardcore mode saves the game automatically, and doesn't allow you to like load states or reload the game saves, if you don't know what that is. And then it would make sense to have spells that or skills that improves your ability to use blacksmithy. Like for Myth, like it could be a really cool perk for Myth himself. I mean, Myth will be available for 2 adventures. This is wait, which quest is Myth available in terms of who's actually
Ruby.
Ah, yes, of course. Myth. So for whichever quest he's available in, is going to improve his probability. But in that case, it doesn't make sense to just let him improve his skills. But yeah, I think a hardcore mode. What else? What other things that are that needs improvement? Let's talk battle system then. So starting over with the battle system, the reels are an interesting skill-based thing that I would keep. However, there's a bunch of quality of life. Yeah.
How to progress in Armix scenario. Having to get certain items that are either rare or RNG to blacksmith isn't exactly an ideal way to progress the main story.
I agree with that take. I actually like our mixed quest as is, because our mixed scenario is item collection. So if you're going to do that, then okay, let me just think this through properly as I form my thought process. Our mixed quest is item collection, which means that all you really need for Armix quest is you just need a couple of helpful NPCs that are going to say, hey, why don't you try going to the, wait, you need this item, why don't you try go talk to the blacksmith? And there's a rumor that if you actually combine these items, there's a chance that you could actually get this. You know, all that good stuff. Oh, I need to probably, let me just put
I mean, the item collecting is fine. I just don't like how the game wants you to get the item you have low RNG of getting.
But that's where the trading comes in, right? I think. That's actually one of the ways. And actually,
the
and if
item collecting just needs a little bit of a revamp.
I don't know. I think the fact that you are collecting certain items and you have other friends collecting some items, it sounds like fun.
Almost forgot the whole trading thing.
Yeah, and being able to trade away items for items that you actually like. For example, hey, let's trade away this platinum that I've managed to craft with another item that's of equivalent value. Which brings me to another point. Do you want to be able to craft gear? Because being able to craft gear like headgear and body armor and foot gear seems to be missing, right? And the only reason I see that that's missing is that it factors into the whole weight thing. And having crafted gear not cost weight makes very little to no sense, actually. So you need to actually factor in crafted gear and its weight to be able to, yeah, actually that's one thing that I'll definitely redo, but which is being able to craft armor. Makes no sense that you don't craft armor, and you need to RNG your way into getting some really high level gear. And having crafted items being weighing 0 makes a bit of sense in that, hey, we actually crafted this so that it matches your character.
If I can do that in Romancing Saga 3, I don't see why I can't in Unlimited Saga outside of the weight comment you made. Just simply have a fixed weight for gears.
We could either have fixed weight for gears, or we could actually have a weight reduction for gear. That would actually make the game a little bit more interesting, because you can't just go Damascus, 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 Damascus for everybody. you say that, oh, if I actually craft Damascus for this character, then I won't be able to use his lower weight. Yeah, that actually even brings like a whole new level of you know, theory crafting, or layer 2 character building. But okay, let's just save for a bit. Go to level 9 and 10. Okay, we'll remove 2 units. Cressida, remove.
Yeah, a weight reduction to a certain degree. Using Damascus even with weight reduction won't make you lightweight is a nice balance. It make you midweight at best.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like that change. But that's a minor tweak. And the thing about minor tweaks is that let me think this through. 2 more units to remove.
Switch to Platinum or Dragon Scale to be able to be lightweight.
Yeah, things like that. Definitely. And making weight a non-hidden value would be kind of nice. You know what would be kind of funny is like make weight like a...
Though I would still say that we weight as a stat value that we can actually look at to know a character's or gear piece's weight.
What I would suggest as kind of like an in-joke, or not so much an in-joke. The thing is, you give... What you do is you give every single character, like all the gear and all the crafted items, a weight value that you could actually see, right? Like you could actually see. And it will be displayed. But with all of the... what you need to do is... that's not so good that our characters are getting... Wait, what's happening? Why are they using shields? Okay, the AI is just being silly. But yeah, anyways, my sword, it howls. Make the character weights hidden. So make it so that people, like, you could slowly add more and more weight to items and things, but it will display whether character is lightweight or heavyweight after you equip certain items. So people could just like speculate on the weight of the characters and say that, hey, do you want to know how much so and so weighs? She actually weighs so and so kilograms or so and so pounds, because if we did the math, then that's how much she weighs. And there's this whole... Because I would be like, characters could do the tropey thing of not revealing their weight, especially on some characters, like You know, but that's just an interesting thing to actually, yeah, it could add a dimension to the game, like because there's a trope where girls don't reveal their weight, right? And maybe like you need to actually figure it out on your own. But I'm not sure if that's going to be like satisfactory or not. Like,
Have it be a rare character interaction in the tavern, lol.
you know, if this was like a typical like kind of gotcha game, it'll be a stat that only reveals after you've made your character like connected enough, like character closeness, like various stats being revealed. But that's just that's just me being playing too many gacha games. It's like, oh, this character's weight, blah blah blah. But yeah, having if we implement a whole let's say like relationship system or closeness system, it's not going to work though, because we have like 9 characters per quest. That doesn't work that way.
I played too many gacha games myself. Very sick of them. LOL, Unlimited Saga Dating Sim, from the makers of the Dead by Daylight Dating Sim.
Oh man, that's... I think there's already a Saga series on mobile or something, or of that nature, that discusses like has like a gacha nature. All right, let's pop
Gotta
down.
get my plant waifu, Platypilum.
Yes, Platy, my waifu. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure that
Myth X Fodaljet.
oh man. Oh well, let's just pop these guys down. Scout this area. Oh, this is the...
I mean, Myth's whole story is a dating sim, LOL. The lovely plant lady herself. Nice curves.
Yeah, that would be
More Silver Girl and Hot Mama Rebecca as well.
Oh, what have I gotten myself into? Relationship system, completely arbitrary addition to the game, like makes absolutely no sense. But oh well. But yeah, unless we have reservations about revealing character weight or characters revealing their weight, then weight should not be a hidden stat at least for gear. For one, we shouldn't have to look up a guide to be able to determine whether if a certain character could use certain skills.
Yeah, in all seriousness, Saga isn't about deep character development to that point. Now, back to talking about the battle mechanics.
Yes, okay. So talking battle mechanics, keeping the reels, but let's have a couple of quality of life improvements. One thing I'll definitely want is, you know how after we selected all 5 actions, right? You won't be able to tell which action does what while you're in the moment of triggering the reels. So you don't know what you're actually doing at that point. If you have like goldfish memory, like myself, or like ADHD, I mean, you're like, oh, so which action of these are actually the one that I used to target that character again, or etc. Having a dedicated, okay, this action is this targets that, or actually having a show of this character, oh, that character died, so this is the target that's going to be targeted instead, you know, to show up would make a lot more sense.
Like, wait a minute, that wasn't the right skill / spell I wanted to use.
Yeah. That happens. So in the meantime, I think that's pretty much one of the quality of life things to consider. I think it was Manta who stated that level 5 skills makes no sense. That it's only available in like level 5 skills being available for certain characters. No, certain weapons. And there's also a question if skills need an overhaul as well, or to make it balanced. I do agree that certain
Yup. Spears and swords are the only ones with level 5 skills.
I think for me, the game needs to have each weapons or each items actually make sense in terms of, this is just minor balancing stuff now. I need each weapon stat should make sense for, and their panels too, should actually make sense for certain builds. One example for me.
One thing I also want to revamp on is the whole LV5 skill placement. It should not be far back with one chance on landing on it. Like it's still LV3, LV4, LV4, LV3 even with the LV5 panel.
Revamp a whole, yeah. Level 5 skill placement also makes sense to revamp. But that's just the kind of like that is also just very nitpicky.
LV, LV1, LV5, LV3, LV4 even with the LV5 panel.
Yeah. But in my playthroughs of the game, level 5 panel, unless you're playing, say, Ventus, the game rarely gets to a point where you get to level 5 panels, to be fair. Goodbye, Pumpkinors. But yeah, having level 5 panels show up makes a lot more sense than not for characters with level 5 panels. But I want more kind of broad yeah, I do want a kind of more broad strokes rather than something more specific like that as well.
I can have LV3, LV5, LV4, LV3 with the LV3 spear panel for example, so it is an interesting way to go about it. Should still be idealistic to land on a LV5 skill easier with the LV5 panel.
Yeah. Very true. I think level 5 panels should increase your likelihood to be able to land level 5 panels. Very, very true.
You were saying about making each weapon fit stats better?
Oh yeah, for the panels, definitely. Like already we have like the weapon types that we have are first swords. Swords are kind of meant for jack of all trade. For mages, like warrior mages, right? So their stat split should be closer to like I was thinking like, for example, staves. The stat split of staves should be closer to like 70 magic and 30 strength. 70 physical. Oh no, 70 elemental and 30 physical, or make it so that it lets you pivot and say, okay, we want stabs on magical characters, or staff panels for magical characters, and make it more rewarding that you go through, use different items, or use different weapons. Bows have their niche of being able to attack multiple targets and use paralysis, but you use blackout. I mean, not paralysis, but it gives up a defensive slot, so that's already kind of fair. Daggers deal a ton of damage while being able to deflect, so it could be used defensively. Swords could be used defensively, which while keeping the other hand available for items that improves your elemental stat in fire support. Okay, we're getting to a point now where auto battling is not a good idea. But let's just stick to it for now. Right? So this is level 10. Let me just data save and use this chance to put on a little ad break here. Sorry, YouTubers, because I'm needing to spend some time saving. And do a little bit of an edit. Okay. Right, so we're 10 floors down.
Oh, side note, make spirit a useful stat. Perhaps make spirit be magic and status condition resistance.
Actually, I would make spirit and endurance a more relevant stat. Especially for defense. Because currently, spirit is used for a calculation in terms of how much you heal yourself using magic spell, right? I think the reason why spirit is done that way. Okay, let me just go to 11 here. Okay, I am going to bring you. I need more tanky units, so I'm definitely going to bring in Gildas here. Move you here. Avoidance and strength charm. So let's just battle with this party. Yeah, having spirit be a useful stat is quite important. Magic resistance, status resistance, endurance actually be physical resistance rather than just having it bank on strength. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And it'll also have to yeah, so you actually have to think about what stats you want to prioritize. And make sure that each of the weapons... Well, each of the weapons have... actually, the only weapon that doesn't have a good niche for me are... like axes.
Very true. It always did seem weird that building into strength both made you both tankier and increased damage.
Yeah. So if you look at the panels and the weapons and what they do, axes are pure physical damage, single target. Sword are not pure physical damage, but has a little bit of defense. Has a mixture of defense and offense, and it lets you inflict status elements like blackout. So that's a good niche. Spears actually are a strength-based weapon that that fits into a strange niche. That is good for characters with both high strength and skill, but it doesn't have any like damage output. So it kind of fits into a strange niche that doesn't do very well, or doesn't have anything interesting. I would place spears into the multi-unit attack category. That would be an interesting item. That would make it an interesting niche as well. But I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for it to be considered broken. Yeah. I think yeah, I would
So
actually
like make it so some of the spear attacks scale more with strength and other attacks with skill.
I would actually make spears I would nerf spears a little bit. I would make it so that it deals a little bit less damage overall. From but I'll make it more versatile, similar to what bows do. Because what bows do at the moment is that it has a multi-attack. I think spears could use ones with multiple attacks. Yeah, make it able to target several different characters. Would probably be my way of dealing using spears. Daggers are in a good spot. Bows are in a good spot. And last but not least is the staff. Staff are super underused, right? Because there's no reason to actually place staff panels onto your characters. And there's no oh, nice. Grease ring. There's no good reason for you to actually place staff panels. And there are no good skills on staffs except for the ones that
Spears
decrease
have
strength.
Reaver,
Yeah.
which is LV3 though. Staff skills have so much utility. Stuns, strength dropping, and AoE with Earth Dragon, but it has so little panel growth.
Yeah.
And no damage.
That's the thing. And instead of focusing on I think staffs has AoE with Earth Dragon. It has stun, strength dropping, which is actually quite important, especially with speedrunners. They do that pretty well. But since it has little to no damage, it should give you incentive in terms of panel growth to actually place stabs. Right now, I think it has a 20% physical, and 60% magical. Like tuning it up to be increased in either stat, like magical, like an increased magical stat, or like increasing in magical stat, or having the staff panel grant more. How was it going with this? I think having the staff panel grant more elemental stats, or comboing with tablets in the panels, or make it so that it's similar to actually make it combo with things like fortune teller. Yeah, making a combo with fortune teller would actually be interesting. Just make staff panels be a dedicated, oh, if you're a magic character, you should have the staff panel. That kind of thought process. So that would be how I would actually buff staffs, not by changing their skills in battle, because they're already quite interesting, but having their growth panels be a little bit more useful in terms of combos. like having it combo with Fortune Teller, or having it combo with, or make it like a different panel, like Divination improves your ability with staffs and also combos with Fortune Teller, or improves your skills with staff and combos with magic tablets and or Fortune Teller. Things like that. That'll make staffs a whole lot more interesting to use. But I'm not sure if that's going to break the game or not. But weapons wise, that's what I would do. Familiars I love in terms of spells, but actually I would just tweak the spells that they have available to be a little bit more useful across bits of magic. But that's just me and my I think wood most likely needs to be revamped as an element, and every other element so far is actually
Well, also that would go with reworking spells to make the familiar spells more useful.
yes. I think I need to keep going here. Let's see what's on the battlefield here. This is the one with the dragon. Let's go ahead. Go straight to this battle. And depending on how far we get, this might be the last battle of the day. But this is weird how this episode turned out. It's just grinding through the Palace of the Dead. I think our aim as of now is trying to grind like 10 levels per day for the Palace of the Dead, which I think is somewhat achievable. Otherwise, let me just to talk about the actual game that we're playing for the moment. Do you mind if I actually did all of the battles off camera and basically said, okay, see you guys after level 25? Because yeah, I'm not sure, because this is probably going to be the way to go with Palace of the Dead. That we're going to spend some time yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time just grinding through all these battles. And it's just a little bit more efficient for the AI to do it for us. But anyways, it's weird how it turned out that we're just playing Tactics Ogre and then just non-stop talk about Unlimited Saga. But that's how streams go, I guess. But just wanted to thank you guys, of course, for contributing to the discussion, because that's a real good. You made some really good points on what I actually do here. I mean, the cool thing though is that I could release 2 separate videos.
Speaking of wood having a percentage of which scales the damage isn't idealistic. I don't see how it works though, because characters with high wood like North can still do great damage.
The thing about wood, if I wanted to like tune up wood for a little bit, wood has only 1 damage spell, which is Thunderbringer. And Thunderbringer is
I'm
just...
one of the biggest Unlimited Saga fan. I belong here. LOL.
Yeah. So the thing about wood as an element, it has one of the strongest attack in the game, but it is locked behind a rare tablet. That's the only thing. If it had one more attack spell, then we're good. And if we want to go with the whole theme of what a wood spell would do, it could leech HP, like small damage, but leeches HP, which HP is a stat that is closer to stamina in this game. So I think that's pretty amazing in and of itself already. We just need one more wood spell that does that. All in all. And that would just fix wood as an element. Okay.
Well, Holy Lightning mainly doing quadruple digit damage. For my playthrough, I was able to get Blender for North both times.
Yeah.
Indeed. Also kinda weird that the offensive wood spells are lightning, so why not have an offensive wood spell that summons tree roots or shoots splinters or something?
That's a good point, actually. Summons tree roots, shoot splinters. Let me think this through. Are we going to be nitpicky enough to actually make things flavorful? In terms of spells. But I think let me just think at what. Let's just think through about the 5 elements of
It would be neat to have the light
spells.
leech skill,
Yeah.
but also have an upgrade version with the magic blender to have it be an AoE leech skill.
Yeah. But let us just think this through for a little bit, for a moment, in terms of what each element does. Currently, fire is the most damaging spell. It has an AoE spell. It has some nice utility spells and firewalls and stuff. So it's an interesting spell to actually, well, it's the go-to element for
Going
mages.
off topic, I like that some of the characters' builds in Unlimited Saga have a balance to be a warrior mage. North having 3 in strength and skill with 5 in magic and a surprising 4 in endurance.
Yeah. The thing about warrior mages is that they need to be able to fill in a niche. The fire warrior mage for, let's say, what's her name? Laura. Swords actually deal blackout. Fire spells deal AoE. And melee deals HP damage. I think that in general is the general use of a warrior mage, is being able to do other things. And most of the time in an RPG setting, warrior mages fill in a attack tank / healer role. So if there's a way to make, for example, a physical character with I think who's another one that I'm thinking of. Burst, for example, is a tank healer that could deal damages with daggers if we want to make him able to do so.
Imagining Norf wielding a sword and being a mage. Or him being a lightweight martial artist, elbowing his enemies. Grace is a pretty good tank mage for that certain scenario.
Yeah. That is fair. Okay. System data save here. Yeah, I mean, North wielding us.
Maybe give Verst a boost of skill from 2 to 3 would be great. He can still be 1 in strength.
Can't remember which floors is which. I think 17 and 18 is one we haven't seen before though. So let's just go with 13 for now.
Makes him more useful to use weapons outside of staffs for debuffs. I always found it funny how well of a tank Grace can be, despite being a middle-aged woman in fairly normal clothing and no armor LOL.
Yeah. I think, what was I talking about earlier? I was talking about how, I think how different magics fill in different niches, but for the silliest reason of all, because, okay, let me explain a little bit about the 5 elements, quote unquote, of the magic system. The magic system is, or the magic elements that is based on water, fire, earth, wood, and metal. This system is based off the Chinese elements, right? And the Chinese elements,
yes.
There's this whole system of how these elements support each other and harm each other or work against each other. And for some odd reason, it does not implement these systems of strengths and weaknesses in the game
I also
at
like
all.
that Unlimited Saga did the Chinese elements instead of the usual fire, water, earth, wind. Nice change.
Yeah, it's a nice change, but why the heck?
Although, they just replace wind with wood and add in metal.
It's not the thing is I'm gonna look it up somewhere. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. Goodness. Okay. Chinese 5 elements. Don't I think like Wuqing. I think here it is. Yep. I think yep. Let me copy. And you could just reference this. There's a picture of it as well. Because since they're using the 5 elements.
Happen, YouTube. Don't be senior tightwad.
Yeah. Like if you look at Wuqing here, there is an certain interaction to all these elements, right? There's a support action. If you look at the elements, there's a support action and there's an overcoming action. Don't demonetize me, please, YouTube. Come on, please. Um, so if you look at the five elements here, fire. What it does is that certain elements are strong against other elements. For example, if you use water on fire, water overcomes fire. So why not make it that water elements or water spells actually deal well against fire elemental units? Like, it's right there. And then fire elemental units actually strong against metal enemies because fire melts metal. So if you're facing like metal-based enemies, then fire is strong against it. And then metal enemies, metal stuff like axes or swords or metal elemental spells works well against wood-based enemies because metal's stronger against wood. And then wood would actually be strong against earth enemies. So if we go with that draining magic spells would be highly effective against earth elemental enemies. And then earth enemies suck up the water. So it'll be strong against water type based enemies. I mean, it's there.
Metal at high degrees, so yeah.
Yeah, already it makes sense to do this, and it also makes sense for certain elemental spells, like for example, if you use water spells against wooden enemies, it'll be it'll be ineffective. But also, if you use water spells against, you could use water spells to blend into wood spells to make wood spells stronger. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that you could do with Wu Jing, but they didn't implement it. It's such wasted opportunity. I think they could have done something like this already, but I think they didn't have enough time in the original game to actually make this a thing. But having this show up and not use this at all, it just makes no sense to me. Like water strong against like using a wooden spell like drain spells against fire enemies is ineffective. Fire is ineffective against earth elements, and earth attacks ineffective against metal enemies. Metal ineffective against water enemies. You know, it's just there.
Water spells are required to blend wood spells. Some water spells help blend holy lightning.
Yeah, it's just so. Okay, sorry. Let me just head back into the game music here. Yep. Did anybody die? No, right? I think nobody in our party died, right? While I was rambling. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
The magic system to use, but could make some of the physical weapon skills have interesting extra effects.
Yep. But that's a whole load of things that we could
like
actually do.
Lunar deal water damage, or Phoenix Flow deal fire damage.
Yeah. Having yeah, it makes no sense to that's also an interesting thing to add, like water elements to like elemental stuff to weapon attacks as well. but goodness, not actually having, not utilizing the 5 elements effectively, it's just such a wasted opportunity. Oh, didn't get my dexterity charm. All right.
Or acupuncture dealing some forbidden/magic damage.
Yeah. That is one thing that could always be done. But it's weird. It's weird how this episode of this Unlimited Saga or Tactics Ogre turned out. But yeah, it's just
Flash flood also being water.
yeah. A bunch of things could be attributed to certain. Actually, that would like vastly increase the thought process behind like weapon usage. We could also have like certain skills like since Aqua Luna and Flash Flood deal water damage, that would actually mean that if we go for a warrior mage type build, we could have an incentive to actually give them certain weapons. Like axes could be based on metal. Like axe attacks could have metal elemental stuffed into them. Swords we could have things like metal elementals being stuffed against certain things. Daggers could be metal. Axe could be metal. We could have fire.
Fuji could be fire with the explosion in the animation.
Yeah. So it would actually have an incentive for certain warrior mages to carry certain types of weapons. And it will deal more damage if you have more fire elemental, for example. That could be a thing, right? But that's actually pretty cool. That should be
Perhaps
one of the things, yeah.
Weapons made from the magic materials like Ravenite would add the element to the weapon.
Weapons made from magic materials like Ravenite add the element. Actually, we already have blank support in terms of elements, depending on what element you want to add for because you have life protection, right, as one of the skills, and then elemental support.
Lightning thrust being wood element.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, let me just think this through. It wouldn't make sense for... No, actually, lightning would... The thing is, I don't want to... It's going to be rough with lightning being wood element, because wood needs to be strong against earth, right? If we're going to implement the 5 element stuff. So maybe I don't want to have the game to have to revamp wood at all, but I mean, that's a bunch of things that you actually need to do to be able to negate the... Yeah, it'll be counterintuitive to have lightning be effective against earth enemies, because it's just like you have to retrain the way of thinking. But yeah, we could have like different weapons do different weapons do different things for in terms of element. Yeah. But that's a pretty cool idea. And have certain
NVM.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool idea, but it needs a little bit more thinking and tweaking, and not having to it requires a little bit of tweaking, I think, just so that it makes sense lore wise or RPG wise. And okay, so in this case, where would you place lightning in this scenario? If we're going to put it in the 5 elements, do we remove lightning entirely? It's such a cool element, though.
Lightning would make more sense for metal, honestly.
Yes, but that would make metal stuff. Ironically, if we're going to place lightning in game, the only place that it makes sense to use lightning on would be Earth, because lightning will be strong against water, and Earth element will be strong against water. Metal will be strong, is actually weak against water. So the only problem of implementing Wu Chang or the 5 elements, you know what? Let me try and see if I could get this up. Do I have a base cam thing for? I don't think I have this set up properly for a screen share. Do I have a screen share? Is this it? Will I? No, this is bad. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Sources. Okay, it's one good thing.
I think the argument for it being wood is that lightning is a powerful natural force and wood is all about raw nature. Technically, all the elements are different types of nature, so I am not sure that argument holds up.
Okay, this is display capture. That's not good. I think, is this it? Yeah. So this thing. Okay. Let me look at. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier with interaction. What did you guys say earlier? Yeah. Being wood is lightning is powerful natural force, which is all about raw nature. Yeah. It's got to be rough implementing lightning in the game. If we're going to stick with the 5 elements, it's going to significantly clash it's going to significantly clash with the current theme of the game if we're implementing this stuff. And I think that's probably what ended up happening, because they said that, okay, then lightning needs to be here, but like, yeah, lightning makes sense to be here in Earth, because Earth actually deals more damage to water, right? But usually in RPG lore, like Earth and lightning are like opposites, quote unquote. But yeah, let's see. Hey, is the music working, guys? It should be working, right? Okay. Yeah, so all in all, I think
CT is working.
Yes, CT. Text to speech. Come on. But yeah, if we're going to implement this in...
Taking the logic from Romancing Saga 2, water and wind when fused actually makes lightning, so technically wood can have lightning as an element. Back to on SA, water does has thunderclap as a blended spell. Yeah, music's working.
Yeah, it's going to be really weird lore-wise. Or kind of thought process-wise. But yeah, lightning isn't an exclusively wooden spell either, because it has wood and water, and then there's thunderclap.
I think the idea of lightning and earth being opposites comes from Japanese views that lightning is the element of the heavens, and the opposite of the heavens is earth.
Yeah. But that whole thing of lightning being ineffective against water enemies is thrown out the window, really, then? But this is just this is a little bit intuitive, though, that water spells works well on fire enemies. And fire, yeah. The only poor placement now is actually the lack of the lack of placement for... Actually, I think of if you're looking at this, lightning doesn't belong anywhere, because this element, if you notice that there's no air, because back then they didn't consider air or anything similar to that to be kind of I think it's more like celestial or less to do with tangible elements, right? So they didn't consider air like a tangible element at all. So lightning is like a force of nature that's beyond any of these things. And to be fair, they didn't actually harness any lightning in that case. But yeah, the only problem with this is that lightning doesn't belong anywhere on this, really, unless we're just going to acknowledge the fact that but that means reworking the magic system to remove lightning as an element. That's just, but removing sprites from the game to...
Wood spells can have a plant-based damage animation. Romancing Saga 3 has Binding Thorns, which is an AoE attack with plants coming from the ground damaging enemies, so that's a spell that can be added.
There's something to be said about making that a flavorful addition, but I want you to look at the animation behind Thunderclap and not Thunderclap, not just Thunderclap. There's Thunderclap, Holy Lightning, Green Requiem, the Green Requiem, Holy Thunder. Yep, all those good things. And ask yourself, are you willing to remove all those cool animations from the game just to make the game more flavorful? Or, you know, it's throwing away work. It's throwing away good work too. Those are pretty amazing looking spells. And if you're saying that, okay, we're removing that so that it makes sense thematically, certain fans are just gonna have a bit of an uproar.
I would never suggest removing them for flavor's sake.
Yeah, that's the thing. Removing, the thing is that there's no place for it to go if we're actually going to stick with this as a.
I mean,
flavor
a bunch
thing.
of skills / arts and spells in Unlimited Saga came from previous Saga games, as expected of course, most notably Romancing Saga 2. I mean no, I don't want them to remove spells to make sense. I never said for those to be removed.
Yeah, it just that's the thing about implementing this. Implementing this means that the spell needs to go somewhere. But where, you know? Like lightning on, like it makes the most sense thematically to put it in earth so that it's effective against water, but it won't be effective against metal. Lightning should be effective against metal, shouldn't it? So the
Take a shot for every time I say, I mean.
then I mean I'll be like drunk out of my mind. But I'm off alcohol. But anyways, that's actually the
Well,
that
water technically has a lightning spell with thunderclap.
I mean, water has a lightning spell, wood has a lightning spell. Are we willing to just move them around?
So maybe keep lightning as wood, but add lightning spells to other elements with Magic Blender? Trophy congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream Chat.
Thank you, Restream Chat, for giving me like a bunch of giving me a trophy for that. The only thing that makes sense to me right now is to actually make lightning part of the forbidden spells package. If we're going to go, if we're going to be truthful, that's the only place where it could remain right now. If we're going to keep the theme going, because then we don't have to worry about whether it works well in certain elements or not. But I think lightning as a forbidden spell seems thematically appropriate, because if forbidden spells refers to we could add a whole different element. We could add a celestial element to counteract forbidden. You know, forbidden being the destructive, degenerative self.
If you
Yeah.
want wood to be more accurate, don't remove Thunderbringer, just replace the color and animation and make it something else if so. Make it a plant shooting from the ground, basically. Thunderbringer coming through the ground.
I actually would, the only way I think that would fix that whole thing is actually having to add another element other than forbidden, or make it.
Forbidden spells mostly deal in status inflicting, right?
Yeah. And to be fair, it has kind of like a purplish vibe as well. But if I were to kind of revamp this, the only way that makes sense is to actually add a forbidden spell uses pure magic as its stat, and I would actually add since we already have Angelite, think about it, we already have Angelite and Demonite. It makes sense to actually have celestial magic as well as forbidden magic on top of these 5 elements.
Purple used
And
in the context of the color of evil.
look, you know that what that means, right? If we have celestial, if we have 5 elements, and celestial and forbidden as the magic. That would mean 7 elements versus the 6.
Having light magic is something I would have liked to see.
It would have 7 elements instead of 6. And 7 is such an important number in Unlimited Saga. 7 characters, 7 panels. Solved. We need to have a celestial element, and lightning being the main damage dealing spell for that. But the only issue would be how rare the items would be, or how the spells would be. But having lightning be a celestial element that deals damage against forbidden units and forbidden, it makes sense thematically. Hey, we solved it, guys. We did it. Congratulations.
It's kinda surprising they left in forbidden as the dark magic while leaving out light magic.
Yeah.
7 is a big number in Unlimited Saga, even though it is the 9th Saga game.
Yeah. Yeah, 7. That would make sense. Oh no, this is gonna turn into a whatchamacallit. I'm not sure if you heard of a dude called Necrit. He does a bunch of really good lore videos for League of Legends. But yeah, this is going to be a whole separate video. I think this is a separate video for revamping the magic system or fixing the magic system in Unlimited Saga. Hey, so that's something that's worth actually doing now. Wow. You guys just gave me a...
Looking at the forbidden spells, they do in fact deal mostly with status ailments and lowering stats. So a celestial magic would be more directly offensive with maybe some healing or buff spells.
Yeah, that it all just makes sense, right? But then also what this means is that the revamp of the magic system requires us to give each of these spells or more a stronger identity as well. So let me just think this through. And currently about what is about different various elements right now. First off, we're talking about what is already in game.
For Kawazu to make the next saga announcement.
Yeah.
It'll be in the middle of the year. That I think usually happens.
Yep. And you know, guys, if things don't work out the way we want, then we could just go make our own game. That'll be interesting, right? But anyways, that point aside, if we're looking about what Unlimited Saga is already doing in terms of what each element does, it's already hinting at that what elements are good at what. Fire gets its boost from arcane things, and we're talking about arcane tongue.
Make an indie Unlimited Saga like game.
Yeah.
LOL.
Yeah, that'll work out definitely. But Fire, for example, already has Fortune Teller and Arcane Tongue. If then the fire magic could be based upon it could be one of those for those who's dedicated to actually learning like fortune telling kind of stuff or divination. Earth already has a synergy with key spells like locksmithy and all those other like locksmithy and all those other skills to do with eavesdrop and map map type stuff.
In the case that stat growth and scaling is handled with a panel system.
Yeah. So earth magic could be also focused on kind of more grounded things, pun intended, with locksmithy and eavesdropping and aura, enemy detection, all that good stuff. Metal could be focused on all the smithing skills. Currently, it's going to be involved with quick fix. It also has involvement with artiste, so it could be dealing with money and skills to do with cash and like market stuff, like getting gold and other things related to that. Water, for example. Okay. Water could also is already related to all those map skills, map making. We could remain giving it like healing to be the remaining. Yeah, it could just still remain the main healing spell because it has a lot to do with the body. Because it has to do with things like adaptability and other map related skills. Well, wood also has gets some buffs from mongering, so it could deal with all the monger, maharaja, all those things that buff speech as well. So it's an interesting already dynamic on what each of the spells do. Like wood could be kind of the diplomacy, speech type, like actually has connotations of diplomacy, speech, spells that lets monsters move away, spells that actually has a lot to do with if loyalty or like mental status elements are a thing. That could be the niche of wood as well. It could be, yeah, it could be the inspiration buffs. You know, all in all, I think we could do a bunch of buffs. It already makes sense in terms of what each spell does, right? But okay, I think that's probably going to be it for now, for today. I think we've done enough talking. So which screen am I at? Let's switch over here. Right. Okay. So I'm not sure how many floors of the Palace of the Dead did we do. We have floor 13. Okay. So I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks for joining me, guys. Thank you. Let's thank all my members. Thank you, Apilux, Radamanta, Sephiroth Vale, Doug Bolden, and Rafael Vega Chapa for being members. You guys support me monetarily, and you get to watch all of my videos early. I get some.
Biggy and Manta.
Yep.
May the blender be with you.
Thank you, buddy. You get cool badges and emojis for whenever you comment as well, and you get to watch videos like this one, nice and early, which is my next XCOM episode, which is premiering right. Come on, let me press premiere.
Have a good day, Biggy and Myth.
Right now, go public, set as instant premiere. Yep, you can, if you're like watching, you can continue to go watch that as well. But yeah, and for the rest of you guys, if you're interested in supporting me, it's just 3 simple clicks away. Liking the video if you enjoyed, subscribing if you want to see more, and clicking on the bell notification icon to get notified for whenever I go live. But that in all, thanks for being here. Thanks, Mana. Thanks, Smith. See you guys in a bit. It's me and Biggy, and I'll be back. Bye for now.